The TG series of consoles were Abbey Road's first in-house solid-state desks, replacing the venerable red consoles in use at the studio throughout the 60s. Those consoles were also an in-house design from the red engineering department of EMI. The red desks incorporated all tube electronics, and their distinctive warmth can be heard on the majority of Beatles albums. The TG series was designed to expand on the smaller format of the red series. The first TG console was installed in Studio 2 in 1968 and used to record the Beatles' Abbey Road album the following year. The TG12410 transfer console was introduced at Abbey Road in the early 70s in their mastering suites. Naturally, the layout differed from the TG12345, which was designed for recording and mixing. But all the TG series consoles were made up of a collection of modules, which they called cassettes, and many of the same modules and circuits were used in both the recording and mastering desks, including the EQ, filter, and limiter, the mainstays of mastering processing. In the Vinyl plugin, Waves includes an emulation of the circuit path of the TG12410 transfer console, the distinctive punchy sound of the electronics, but that plugin doesn't model the processors themselves. But the Waves Abbey Road series does include a plugin modeled after the TG12345 console. So if you wanted to do a mastering project that incorporated not only the vinyl emulation of Abbey Road vinyl, but the sound of Abbey Road's mastering processing as well, the TG12345 can provide that processing, bringing the unique sound of the TG series to the task. Waves TG12345 plugin incorporates a good selection of what you'd find in a TG12410 transfer desk. It includes a version of the TG12413 limiter module, a unique design. While it doesn't include the 4-band parametric EQ you see here in the TG12410, the tone module, it does have a 3-band EQ section. This includes elements of the TG12414 filter module, including that module's presence band EQ, and adds bass and treble controls as well. Generally, the kind of EQ you do in mastering is not as elaborate as in mixing, but if you really felt that you needed more specific EQ capability, and you wanted to stick to the Abbey Road offerings, you could turn to Waves' model of the Abbey Road RS56 EQ, which was, in fact, originally intended for mastering use. This is a passive tube design, so it's not a match for the solid-state characteristic of the TG version, but it would offer an authentic Abbey Road vibe for anything that needed the extra tone shaping. The TG12345 plugin also offers a couple of welcome options that relate to stereo imaging. It emulates the TG series spreader feature, which lets you control the width of the stereo image, and it also allows for MS, mid-side processing, a useful option for mastering, which I'll cover in a later video. Next up, I'll start going through the specific processors in the TG12345 plugin.